चंडीगढ़ लिटरेरी सोसाइटी हर साल चंडीगढ़ लिट फेस्ट करता ही है और लिटराटी के नाम से, और ये हमारा CLF लिटराटी का स्प्रिंग एडिशन है, यानी कि बसंत एडिशन है। इसकी थीम हमने रखी है फेस्टिवल ऑफ आइडियाज़। तो इस थीम पे ही आप समझ सकते हैं कि साहित्य से कुछ जो कुछ भी जुड़ा है, वो आइडियाज़, विचार, चिंतन मनन, एक्सचेंज, डायलॉग, वो सारी चीज़ें आज हम यहाँ पे जाने माने ऑथर्स, कवि, भारत के सबसे प्रसिद्ध फोटोग्राफर रघु राय जी, उन सब के साथ मिलकर एक्सप्लोर करेंगे। सो ये थीम है आज के स्प्रिंग फेस्ट की।
और इसमें एक बड़ी खासियत ये है कि बुक्स लॉन्च भी हुई हैं।
लगभग 6 किताबें हमने लॉन्च की हैं।
सतीश दुआ जी की भी,
हाँ, जनरल सतीश दुआ जी की, मिसेस गीतिका लिडर की, और सोल्जर्स लाइफ ऑन हर हस्बैंड ब्रिगेडियर लिडर, जिनकी ट्रैजिक डेथ हो गई थी चॉपर क्रैश में, लिली स्वर्ण की बुक, लोचन की बुक, विमेन लीडर्स पे किताब। सो कई प्रकार की ये बुक्स आज यहाँ लॉन्च हुई हैं। एंड हमेशा की तरह हमारी कोशिश है कि चाहे वो प्रोज हो, चाहे कविता हो, शायरी हो, सभी प्रकार के साहित्य का आज यहाँ पे हम उसको प्लेटफॉर्म दें और साथ में मिलजुल कर एक्सप्लोर करें।
आगे कैसे ले जाना चाहती हैं आप, क्योंकि काफ़ी हद तक इस्टेब्लिश चंडीगढ़ हुआ है ऑन द लिटरेरी मैप?
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक चंडीगढ़ लिटरेरी सोसाइटी की वजह से ही, क्योंकि हमारा अब आज 13 ईयर्स हो गए हैं जब से हम चंडीगढ़ लिट फेस्ट लिटराटी आयोजित कर रहे हैं। तो ये पूरे देश विदेश में भी प्रसिद्ध है। चंडीगढ़ को एक तरह से हमने एक लिटरेरी हब भी बनाया है, और ये वन ऑफ द ओल्डेस्ट लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल्स है इंडिया में, और आगे हम इसको और बढ़ाएंगे। ये स्प्रिंग फेस्ट भी हमने इसीलिए जोड़ा क्योंकि यहाँ के लोगों ने इतना प्यार दिया, तो हमने सोचा कि एक बड़ा फेस्टिवल तो हम नवंबर में करते ही हैं, पर ये एक दिवसीय फेस्टिवल हम स्प्रिंग में भी करें। तो ऐसे बच्चे आइडियाज़ लोग भी दे रहे हैं, हम भी इसको लगातार बढ़ा रहे हैं।
थैंक यू।
Thank you.
To 10 minutes. Instead, I will break everything into 5 to 10 minute slots, not in the chapters, topics, sections, but if I can fit in 3 sentences, that's what I do for 5 to 10 minutes. And then I take a break. This guy goes on from being a Charlie to straight A's, almost, acing the university, goes on to become a top professional, finance professional, goes on to be a world record holder in multiple things. In addition to that, he learns multiple languages, learns to fly, skydive, auto race, make granny squares. He holds the record for the largest granny squares in the world. All by not trying to make things difficult for himself or find them a struggle, but shaping or finding that basic pattern of his, which was this thing of being, able to focus only for a particular period of time and then using that to achieve his success. Now, if I relate it to my own life or to anything else, if you look around yourselves, you'll find that the human is nothing but patterns. Your body, mind, emotions, actions, like, you spoke about energy. Now you find that you're energetic all the time. Another physical, very easy to understand example. So I
made a lot of trouble. Was a former chairperson who made a lot of trouble for the next chairperson, that was I. And your habits change with time. Earlier when you're working, you snatch time in between, but then when you are happily retired, you can choose your time. You won't believe it, I get up in the morning at 4 o'clock and for 2 hours I write. I'm free the rest of the day also, but that is the time, when the stories come best. You can really work then. The metaphor that you were talking about, normally it's, people say that you are like a river, you flow along with the river and so on. But I like to compare myself with a rocket with a tail end on fire. So I often say I feel like a rocket with a tail end on fire and I don't know where it will go. Rockets are supposed to go up, but then some rockets, some space ships like Sunita Williams also, they can go astray. I am talking about the rockets that we have on Diwali time. You shoot them straight and they go zwee, 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 zwee and they land somewhere else. So I really feel like that sometimes. But then you have to use that feeling And we've been talking about emotions a little while ago. Use those emotions, use that feeling and put them in a book before you forget them. And that is what creativity, I think, is. Otherwise,
it's just a dystopian, brilliant metaphor for the women's situation in life. You know, it just sort of absolutely grips you, and you begin to feel that you're caught in this dystopian world where you're just supposed to be playing a certain kind of role. It's called the handmaid's tale. So, of course, there are two ways of doing this metaphor thing. It can be part of your text, which most writers, every writer will use, but it can also be your mode of narration. Like if you look at Rushdie, if he's writing the Victory City, then that Victory City is a metaphor for women who have, sort of found their own world, or who have a certain kind of potency, a certain kind of power. So you can use metaphor really in your writing, of course. And that, I think, everybody, because it does add layers to your writing. Just a simple narration is really not enough. It helps to give rich layers to, what you're writing.
And to be a different metaphor, and if you're writing for adults, if you're writing for a thinking readership, then it has to be something different, right? And the metaphor so far. So, Manju ma'am, if your bookshelf could talk, what do you think it would say about you? Hey woman, when are you going to turn back to me? It's been a long time.
Actually underperform in the first 2 years of becoming a new leader. And this is not because they don't have the skill. It's purely because they have not yet mentally transitioned to becoming leaders. Which means that they have to start thinking beyond just execution. They have to start thinking a little differently. They have to start thinking about the team. They also have to start thinking about how they're building the team, managing the team, etc. Similarly, when we think about careers and career transitions, everybody immediately jumps to the idea of saying, okay, corporate, if not corporate, then entrepreneurship, that's the only option. But even within the corporate space and world,
so with your permission, shall we start?
Time is precious.
Yes, absolutely, totally, I agree. So, sir, I'll start with your memoir. You have called your memoir Raghu Rai, Waiting for the Divine.
I did not. You called it. Let's be very sure.
Thank you, sir. So tell us why the name. What appealed to you about this title?
If the divinity doesn't show light on you, if you don't have that divya connection in moments of creativity, everything else becomes dhanda. Be it music, painting, photography, poetry, anything. जब तक उधर से तुम्हें वो स्वर नहीं आएंगे तो कुछ नया नहीं उपजने वाला है. और यही तो बात है कि आज देखिए painting and writing is the oldest profession, and in terms of poetry, music, everything, it consumes everything. आप सोचिए कि centuries हो गई म्यूजिक, पोइट्री, म्यूजिक और पेंटिंग को, तो अब तक खत्म हो जाना चाहिए था दुनिया के खेल. क्या जरूरत है, अब तक हुआ ही. तो ये क्या बात है कि सेंचुरीज बीत गई फिर भी there is no end to it. And the way he puts it so differently, you wonder की क्या गया, क्यों है मुंडे में. You see, because those vibrations, they make you come alive. You wake up to another experience of reality, which you've seen over and over again. दिक्कत ये है कि आधे से ज़्यादा लोग नहीं, आधे से ज़्यादा नहीं, most of us, most of the time, we are programmed human machines. और सब कुछ इस दुनिया का जो ये सबसे बड़ा कंप्यूटर उसने लगाया हम सब में, we are possessed by it.